All right, video 79. Yeah, moving along, right? I mean, one at a time still, but we're moving along. A lot happened today. Started off early morning meeting because with Julie, I guess I'm start using names because we're really so like the past few days have been. It went from the beginning of the week where I really was like, oh no, what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen well, I just don't know where we're going next, to every single day just building up more and more confidence in our team and what we got. And yeah, like I really feel very confident about what we have now. And some things are going to have to change. There's a few small things that we spoke about, that I spoke about here, but also, plans that aren't what I want, but that's, a part of it and it's expected. And yeah, we just have to figure those stuff out, but at least other things are falling together. That's kind of where it started. So start off with an early morning meeting with Julian. He is our COO, just kind of really going over you know, what he's going to be doing, kind of, really taking the position in that sense. We didn't, yeah, no official like paperwork or anything yet, but that's again, that's all incumbent lawyers, and that's really the next big step. Told him to reach out there. So yeah, we have some outreach there, and we'll figure out what happens with that. We also need to, yeah. So that's that group. We also had, I had another meeting with Dennis. He is one of our advisors. Which committees he wants to be on, things like that. Spoke about stuff there. Yeah, and then an accountant most of the day, but that was not so much for me personally. But I did talk to him personally. Also, I got a chance to just run through kind of what he thought about me submitting the 1023 on my own, which is that document for the nonprofit status in the US. And yeah, I mean, he said it's fine. You saved a lot of money this way, and you may have to revise it, and if you do whatever, you'll figure it out then. But that's it, at least it delays it in terms of the spending, and that is very important at this point, right? We don't really have the money yet, but we do need to build up enough credibility to start really raising the money to run the organization. Then another huge thing that happened today, though, and that was pretty much what I spent most of my day doing, was really setting up the Google account. So I know we kept saying we wanted to get onto the Google, and I was like, we're gonna wait for our 501(c)(3) status to come back, and then because then you can get Google for nonprofits, which then helps us, and it's we have a discount on that, so it'll become cheaper. But we don't need to. I mean, but we do need to, but we can upgrade to that, I guess, once we or whatever, side grade to it once, just start paying less. Once we get that back. So that's a 6 month process. Submitted it not even a month ago, so or not even a week ago. Yeah, so really, really, yeah, have a long time to go. Or it can get rushed. I know they say people do get it in a month and a half, so who knows? I don't know if that's if you have connections there and push a little bit, or if you submit it in a certain way. You definitely could pay for rushed, for a rushed one, but it's yeah, again, like I said, we're on a budget too, so just not needed. Although it's good to have, I don't know. It is what it is. We have it. This is where we are. Next is so pretty much basically doing setting up the Google account. So setting up a Google workspace. I mean, Google, I absolutely love Google's products, but they are very money hungry. That's very it's just annoying when you're trying to get something done, like, oh, this is the package that I want and this is what it costs, whatever. And then you have to kind of blur off. And then you have to go through like an entire process of like, going through so many different things because they're basically hiding that one from you. Or yeah, it was very annoying to use to try to purchase. And yeah, it should get fixed and it should be honest and straightforward. There shouldn't be any kind of like, once you're in it, you can't really find a cheaper one unless you like intentionally go around and it locks you in. Like it starts you off with like, their like higher tier policy, like not even like the standard one. And it's just like, this is the only option you have. And you have to go through the whole process with that in order to then switch it back. So not honest, I mean, it's not entirely straight. But I guess it's business. But yeah, I would, I try to be more straightforward. There's no reason to hide it. You have a product, it's a good product. If it sells, it sells. It doesn't. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, they want as many customers as possible. But I don't know. Okay, it's just my ethics. But 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 yeah, so that set it up. There's a lot of great stuff now that we have. So a lot of cool things that we're gonna get with our membership, with our with our plan, and that's it. And basically, yeah, you just yeah, we can set everything up so it's really going to be our one place where we can have data and everyone putting files, one place where we can have all the same share, yeah, just a lot of share spaces, drives, things like that. It'll be our main communication hub, and we'll just be working through Google's system, which personally I like. Some of them like it, some don't, but it is what it is, right? That's, I guess, the end of the day, either people will learn it or they won't learn it, and those people just, yeah, I don't know, they'll learn it. So I guess there's always the side of yeah, I don't know, it's a good choice. There's a side of like thinking like are we jumping into something and then it can come to haunt us, but at the same time, there's not really because it's kind of the decisions that you make are just what makes whatever ends up happening happen, and there's going to be things that are in our control, and then there's going to be things that are not in our control, and if we can't think of anything right now or even, imagine something that can affect that, then just go with what you know because yeah, otherwise you're not going to do anything, right? At the end of the day, I was just listening to a thing today, and this is the thing about AI now is there's so many just dumb content on like YouTube of just people just putting in, to an AI, make a video, put some visuals, talk a little bit, and it's like 3-minute videos. And today there was one actually, and this was totally like bad. Like this isn't legal at all. But it had like Elon Musk talking, and it was like 11 minutes, but he kept saying to subscribe to this channel, and he kept like he was very robotic. He never said or anything. Like it just obviously wasn't a real talk, right? No video footage, so it was just like a still photo, and obviously it's illegal. No, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know if it's illegal, but there has to be some rules about that. Um, But that's not the point. The point was that he said the speech at least had a good meaning and it was important. It's basically that, if you have 5 minutes, do it right now, right? Do it this second, and that's a mentality. That's at the end of the day, like if you can get it done right now, right? And for us, coming all the way back to everything, it is kind of, having a cohesive, having a system or one, we plan to have two systems, right? We plan to have two different systems to basically manage everything. So we're going to have, or the goal is at least at this point, and this can change, to have something like Notion, or Notion is what we're looking at, to basically organize kind of wikis and informational stuff for everyone. And then to have the Google Workspace and the Google ecosystem for, documents, for shared, sharing stuff, data sharing, for messaging each other, for pretty much everything like that. Meetings, calendars, right? Whatever, Google's stuff. So yeah, it would be good. It's good to have them in one system. Obviously, there are disadvantages to that. If you have everything in one system, obviously, you're relying on that system, and also, yeah, you're really kind of relying on that system, right? If Google crashes, if Google does something stupid, if Google has anything happen to it, everything can crash with that. So obviously, I mean, I'm sure we have the right people, and I'm sure they'll be backing stuff up properly, maybe outside of Google too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this really works. Like, what kind of are the measures? Because I didn't really look at that. Okay, I'm going to. But yeah, just, we need to make sure we're obviously secure and safe as a company and as a, we're getting into a position, and I've realized this, it jumped very, very fast, right? It went from being myself, right, trying to build something to be like, okay, now we have real people. We have real things moving forward at a pretty continuous pace. It's not a slow, easy, this is like we're doing this and this is happening. Um, so it's really it's incredible, right? It's a little unexpected, but also kind of what I wanted, right? This is what we wanted, and this is the only way everything will really work. And I guess a part of me just didn't believe that I could do it, I guess. And now that it's actually happening, it's like, it's happening. Obviously, your moves were at least good enough to get to this point. So, keep trusting it. So maybe, I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, interesting. A lot of thoughts like that. I feel like, yeah, but just, it's just because I guess it used to be more like me doing the day and then here I would be explaining it. And now it's kind of, I'm just kind of coming off of like, I don't know, there's a lot more meetings, right? Daily, not necessarily every day. Tomorrow is a national holiday. That's actually last video of the week. Tomorrow is a national holiday. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna be working here, because there's no excuse there, but I'm saying that's also the thing that that I was talking about yesterday about just having continuous work. Because we're in such different time zones, because we're all over the world, we're gonna have continuous work always. There's always gonna be something done. There's always gonna be people online, which is huge for being able to connect to people. Or there's always someone you can call. That's huge, right? We have 24-hour support. We can always have things like that, and that's super super important. I think. Yeah, we're we're building. We're building. There's gonna be a lot of this. I was thinking about, just in general, just enjoying life or doing something fun. And it was like, I know that I will, but this is like what's needed, right? Right now it needs to build, and building it becomes everything. Yeah. Okay. I feel like this video kind of went a little bit all over the place. Just been ranting a little bit. I didn't really have a plan coming in, and like I said, that is kind of the point of these videos. Today was kind of that day. Like I said, I feel really good about what's going on. I now we need to start scheduling weekly meetings with everyone, which I did schedule one of them already with one of the departments, one of the teams. We need to schedule more weekly meetings than, monthly, whatever it is, right? Everything like that. So, we need the organization stuff, getting things up and running, and then need to get more people on board. That's really a big a big thing. Just getting people on board, getting people to be interested in helping us, to be willing to give the time, but also to be, on our team, on our long term, helping with these projects, because they're gonna take help. They're gonna take a lot of people and us. Yeah. So either way, that's very much. It's good. It was a long day, I guess, because it started extra early, like because like I said, I had that meeting in the mornings. Julian was only available like in his noon, or like noon to one, or at one we met, so it was like 7 a.m. here. But I wanted to be in the office, so I had to start my day. I usually get in the office at 8, so I started my day an hour earlier to get like my whole morning routine standard. So yeah, whatever, just it's fine. But yeah, just a train. But yeah, it was good. Nah, it's still not over. There's still another hour of, other work, but that's how I do these videos usually at this point. Kind of just make it, then get to doing other things while it loads and whatever. And then, so I'm not like doing nothing and just sitting around waiting for a video to load. So yeah, either way, hope you enjoyed. Hope this all makes sense. I think I'm just gonna cut it a little bit short. It's the end of this week. And yeah, for hopefully an amazing weekend. I do have a wedding on Sunday actually, which is I didn't know about until this week, or I forgot about. I didn't put it on my calendar, so that's why. And now, yeah, that's gonna be a big thing. But either way, hope you enjoyed. Hope this all makes sense, and good luck.